Today, I wanted to go over how franchising works and give you guys some insights on what makes franchising so successful and things that you should know as you get in the right mindset to look at researching franchising. Franchising is all about having a proven business model for profitability. And when you think of businesses like McDonald's, the consistency is key. And that is what really brands are looking for in terms of operators that can carry on that brand consistency. And so the franchise has been proving this for many, many years through trial and error, and they have perfected the system that they share with the franchise owner. There's risk mitigation there. It is proven that there's a lower chance of failure with a franchise than starting an independent business from scratch. That's why the SBA will give such a strong backing for the bank to be able to provide access to financing that normal startups wouldn't get. And it's because the franchise knows how to distribute their product, their service, and find their customers. It's got to be something that the franchise understands how to target their customer and get them in front of franchise businesses. And so most of today, you're talking digital advertising. There's always some form of brand awareness, but when you go into a business and they turn on that digital marketing, there's a pretty good chance that they can get in front of your target audience very, very quickly. And of course, they use professional marketing teams to do all of that and support the back office, which is really another big part of where franchising comes in. All of the support. They're going to train you on the business model. And that is one of the first things that they start off doing. That doesn't mean that you have to have experience in that industry. It actually could be something that they would prefer you come with no preconceived notion of what the business is at the core, because that is essentially the playbook that they are providing you. And your role is more so to be the local area representative and the face of the business in the local community, going out, being that customer service support, and making sure that that consistency for the excellent experience that they're providing is always something that they're able to achieve. And so they provide startup assistance along the way, marketing assistance, and when you're getting started in business, when you go with the franchise, you're actually an extension of an already successful business. We can look at averages of their financial performance if they share that in their franchise disclosure document. If we don't have it in the document, then we will get that through validation. This is the step where you're actually talking with existing franchise owners, getting to understand how they got started in the business. They will share with you probably more than you even ask for, and everybody loves to tell their success stories, and you want to listen to what they're telling you, because it's not always going to be all butterflies and rainbows. It's also going to be some of the hard stories of, they've invested, and it's always a matter of execution, and you have to get out there and make sure you understand what the business is that you're getting into, because at the surface you can have two companies doing the exact same business, but the owner's role in the business is completely different. One of them wants an owner-operator. The other is more of an executive-level manager-run business. And those two positions are very different from the core function of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And of course, you always want to make sure that your business is in good hands. you're responsible and you have the final say on hiring any employees. And so you want to pick your team wisely, mentor them, grow them, give them an opportunity. And soon, if you were successful at the first location, you can bet that the second location, third location, fourth, fifth, the sky is the limit there. The scalability of these franchises is one of the most attractive parts about franchising. They know that successful operators want to continue growing, and so they'll oftentimes reserve or share for their top operators, what locations are open still for development, and that's something that you always want to look at. If a company is so large that now the only locations left are the ones that have been, chosen over, and not the A or B class markets, so to speak, the C or D class markets that are already gone. So that's why you can imagine it's beneficial to get in early, but you also want to see that they're gaining traction and the model works. And in validation, you should be hearing that from as many owners as you get a chance to speak with, but definitely asking questions and seeing, is this something that they would do again? And franchising is something that you can get into. You don't need to have a fully drawn out business plan, because essentially the franchise is the business plan. You want to then validate what your market expense would be, figure out projections, go through it, and that total investment to get started, they include generally working capital, and that working capital is how you're going to run your business. You also need to support yourself personally. There's different ways of going about that. Oftentimes, if you're going to get financing, they want to see that you have some additional liquidity to be able to live off of personally. And so these are some main points I wanted to hit on, how franchising works. If you got questions, leave them in the comments below. Happy to answer them. Look forward to hearing from you guys. And overall, anyone interested in getting a free consultation, we have a business owner profiling tool that we can provide you a link to, and once you fill it out, it gives you insights on how your personality really matches up with business ownership, and it's always interesting to see the results. Happy to talk about them and see what franchises match your profile best. Thanks for tuning in.